The launch of Xbox Series X is looming on the horizon. It'll be out still sometime in holiday 2020, unless recent circumstances, the ongoing international incident changes things. But beyond that, there is one complication that Microsoft, and more specifically AMD, is facing: a leak of source code, particularly involving Xbox Series X's GPU alongside other AMD hardware. The following information was relayed by news outlet Torrent Freak, which talks a lot about digital goings-ons, and the headline of this particular article reads, AMD uses DMCA to mitigate massive GPU source code leak. According to this article, in July 2019, to celebrate its 50th anniversary, AMD released its Radeon RX 5000 series powered by Navi GPUs. The source code for these devices is extremely sensitive and considered secret, but perhaps not for much longer. This week, rumors began to circulate that an unnamed individual had somehow obtained the source for Navi 10, Navi 21, and Arden devices, the latter representing the rumored GPU for the yet-to-be-released Xbox Series X. Confirming whether such leaks are genuine is difficult, but yesterday, AMD took action, which tends to support the theory. The action, of course, being that DMCA takedown. The leaked file was apparently uploaded on GitHub, and it was titled AMD Navi GPU Hardware Source. And the DMCA issued did state, this repository contains intellectual property owned by and stolen from AMD. If you go to GitHub, you can actually read the entirety of the DMCA issued by AMD, and the irony is not lost here. GitHub is a Microsoft-owned platform, and AMD had to issue a DMCA there because Xbox Series X's source code, GPU source code, was uploaded to their own platform. So yeah, unfortunate set of circumstances right here. The article then noted how GitHub did take down the repository immediately, pretty quickly, and the news outlet actually found the individual who leaked the source code for these AMD hardware, and they actually talked to Torrent Freak, telling them the following. In November 2019, I found AMD Navi GPU hardware source codes in a hacked computer. The user didn't take any effective action against the leak of the codes. The source code was unexpectedly achieved from an unprotected computer server through some exploits. I later found out about the files inside it. They weren't even protected properly or even encrypted with anything, which is just sad. Somehow, some way, this individual just stumbled upon a computer that contained the source code. It wasn't secure. They just kind of grabbed it. It was just kind of there. The individual apparently claimed to be female, told the outlet that the package included code for Navi 10 and Navi 21 devices, and also confirmed that the source for the Xbox Series X GPU Arden was part of the haul. And then when the individual who allegedly stole the source code was asked whether they spoke to AMD in any way, shape, or form, the response provided was, I haven't spoken to AMD about it because I'm pretty sure that instead of accepting their mistake and moving on, they will try to sue me. So why not just leak it to everyone? That's an attitude that makes no sense. This definitely does seem to be some kind of lapse in security, but mistakes can happen, and when somebody stumbles upon such a mistake, the way they respond informs a lot about them, whether they contact the individual who made the mistake and let them know about what's going on, or try to take advantage of that situation. And this individual is definitely taking advantage. Not to mention, it was the choice of this individual to take the files and steal them. Even if they were not secure, the fact remains they made the choice of taking what is clearly files that were not meant for the public, files that she was not meant to take. This is like saying, well, that individual's wallet was just out there sitting in the open, they didn't secure it in any way, so I stole it, and if I contact them about that, they'll probably sue me or something, there'll probably be repercussions, they probably won't accept their mistake and move on, so why don't I just leak all the personal information found inside the wallet? It's like that kind of logic that makes no sense. The hacker is the perpetrator. They did something illicit, something they weren't supposed to do. And of course, you're going to face consequences, and that's on you. The part about why not just leak it to everyone, that's something you don't have to do. That's just something scummy you're doing to, again, take advantage of the situation. And it reads right here, the alleged leaker further told us that one source code packet had already been released, and this was likely done to show proof that they do indeed have legitimate source code and intellectual property that was stolen from AMD. And this individual claims that the source code is valued at $100 million, but how that calculation was arrived at is unknown, according to Torrent Freak. $100 million seems quite steep. And then finally, the leaker concluded by noting that they are in fact trying to get a buyer, and said that if I get no buyer, I'll just leak everything, adding that the files would be secured with passwords that will only be handed out to select individuals. Now, it didn't take long for AMD to respond on their official website. On March 25th, 2020, they issued the following statement, which was copied and pasted into this Torrent Freak article. The statement reads, "At AMD, data security and the protection of our intellectual property are a priority. In December 2019, we were contacted by someone who claimed to have test files related to a subset of our current and future graphics products, some of which were recently posted online, but have since been taken down." So AMD flat out confirmed that everything this leaker is claiming is absolutely true. Those files are out there and they were acquired. While we are aware the perpetrator has additional files that have not been made public, we believe the stolen graphics IP is not core to the competitiveness or security of our graphics products. We are not aware of the perpetrator possessing any other AMD IP. We are working closely with law enforcement officials and other experts as a part of an ongoing criminal investigation. So there are two major concerns surrounding this situation. There's competitiveness and then there is security. Competitiveness refers to the fact that there could be trade secrets in that source code that if the competition takes a peek at, it could give them a leg up. They could see what AMD is doing in terms of source code and react accordingly and improve their own products that way. And then as far as security goes, hackers could use the source code to find exploits that will allow them unfettered access and potentially, compromise personal information of people who use the specific AMD hardware, or with a console like Xbox Series X. That source code could pave the road to exploits that allow certain breaches to hack the console and allow custom software that might allow people to, download games and play them on the console for free and allow for piracy and stuff like that. That's the concern, at least. That's in theory, and I personally don't know enough about computer hardware and software for me to definitively say what hackers would be able to achieve with this kind of data and information. But AMD says that the stolen graphics IP is not core to either the competitiveness or security of our graphics products. I certainly hope that this is true and that they're not just trying to downplay a potentially grave situation. I hope that this breach really isn't as big of a deal as it might seem. It'll be interesting to see if we hear more about this, or whether this right here will end up having long-term ramifications, or if this story will just fizzle out and nothing really substantial will come from this. At the end of the day, what we're looking at here is a lapse in security from AMD and an opportunist taking advantage of this situation to try to make some money and, using that as a way to blackmail and saying, if somebody does not give me money, I'll leak everything. The hope is that in the future, AMD doesn't suffer another lapse in security like this, that they lock things down tighter, because keep in mind that this isn't just something that affects the company, but potentially something that might affect people who will be buying AMD products. They are working with law enforcement to track this individual down. And yeah, this leaker certainly brought this on themselves by stealing information and threatening to leak that information if they don't make a profit off of it. Information that not only compromises a company, but also end users. So hopefully this criminal investigation pans out and that this leaker, who needs to make better life choices, is brought to justice. So there you have it, folks. That's all you need to know about the latest story involving AMD source code being leaked. part of that source code being GPU source code for Xbox Series X. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts and opinions are on this situation, and to be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.